What's going on, everyone? This is Steve with Articulated Times coming at you with our very first review from a toy line from Frazetta Girls of Fire and Ice, the Darkwolf. This figure was initially unveiled at PowerCon 2023. It was just delivered to me on my birthday, January 12th, 2023. So it's awesome to have this in hand. Now, looking over the packaging, fantastic presentation for our first figure in their line, Fire and Ice. Logo, Darkwolf, 1/12 scale. Pause it here for all that's included. We'll get over that in just a moment. A really spectacular shot from Trevor Williams, 1/6 shooter. But it gets even better. Open that up. Look at that. If that doesn't sell you on wanting to get something like this, I don't know what will. And then, nice little window box, kind of showcasing all that's inside. All right, let's get to it. All right, so now we have Darkwolf out of the box, standing in all his glory. This figure measures up to the ears, just a hair under 7 inches. Bringing in here for a first-time release, sculpt work is looking pretty darn good with everything. The vascularity on the arms, the shoulders, the chest, the boots there. So going over the head, this is a softer plastic. So again, you're not gonna get much side to side. You're gonna maybe get some tilting down, but not too much on the looking up, okay? As for the shoulders, we're going to get out here to our nice T-pose. At least 180, if I'm not mistaken here. Just looking at that. Good. And then we have, we don't have bicep swivel, but we have this little bit of a rotation here for internal and external rotation. So you're getting a little bit in, a little bit out. Not a lot, but the big benefit with that internal rotation portion, and when you're going to do a pose, instead of something like this, you're able to rotate in to kind of cover it up just a little bit so it looks a little bit more seamless, okay? When we're talking about bicep, going up just past 90 degrees there. Nice thing about that too, it also has rotation at the elbow as well too, to make up for the no bicep cut or bicep swivel. Comes all the way down. I like the aspect that with this too, when I'm bringing the arm down, I definitely feel, it almost kind of feels like a ratchet. I know it's not, but it has some tension in there to where it's not just going to get loose over time, okay? Hands, we got vertical. The real star of the show, I feel like, is going to be this torso. Since we don't actually have a waist piece in here to do rotation, you're getting a lot of your movement coming from this mid-torso cut. So, able there, the rotation. Could bend back, could bend forward pretty good. Now again, the one thing you want to be mindful of with that, just some gappage here in the back. So, but again, with doing that much flexion going forward with everything, you can definitely get some nice, like, dynamic, like axe swinging chop motions. So I think that's great. When we're talking about the leg, we kick all the way up to here. Hang on a second. Kicking all the way up. And then when we're going to come back, we get to about right here, okay? So you got the buttocks right there kind of blocking anything. When we're talking about the leg, you saw how far it goes up forward. Again, you're gonna get a little bit of rotation there, a little bit of hip swivel, no thigh cut by any means. And then coming down here to the knee, gonna bend. We're getting to at least 90. And then with that, they have a swivel at the knee, okay? Which, for some, that might be okay. Again, with this notch right here, it might look a little silly if you're off to the side with that, with posing or anything like that. So you want to be very mindful. There is no boot cut, okay? So when we're coming down to the ankle, this boot piece is a completely separate piece that slides over the leg, okay? So when you go to push down with a toe, some plantar flexion, toe down, toe goes up pretty significantly. You get some rotation, some pretty decent rotation, or ankle pivot, I'm sorry. But the one thing to be mindful of, see, as I'm moving it around, we're getting some more of that gappage there. So just something to be mindful of for you fellow toy photographers out there. All right, one of the big benefits also with this softer material for the head sculpt here is they have some attachments that you could take out to switch the lower faceplate there. So they just pop out just by grabbing the top of the head and just popping right out. Little socket in there, right? So what we'll do, we're going to take our gritting teeth. They also come with a shouting. The paintwork could use a little bit of help on the shouting one. The gritting teeth one I feel like is a little bit clearer with everything if that comes in there. But we just take this piece here. We're going right in here. And it should pop in snug. There we go. And there you go. Easy as that. And again, I feel like that's pretty snug in there. I don't feel like that's going to come out too terribly easy with anything. Okay. So, and then now we're moving on to hands. Comes in with 2 open palm hands with horizontal hinges. We're coming in with 2 item holding hands with vertical hinges. So again, for more of that posing with the axe, with the bow, I feel like that's going to give you some really good dynamic looks there. 2 fist hands with horizontal hinges. You have 1 splayed hand here for his bow and arrow. Coming in there, there we go. So that when he's got the arrow knocked, I feel like that'll be a great pose for that. Here, there we go, with a horizontal hinge. We've got his nice bow and arrow. That is pretty tight. You'd probably launch an arrow with that. And then you get 3 arrows here. Uh-oh. So there's no knock or anything on the back. But again, with that hand that I was just showing you for the arrow holding, I feel like that should hold that no problem with anything. Okay. And then as you saw earlier, the necklace, one thing to be mindful of, especially with the head and the softer plastic, just being kind of mindful of how you have that sitting. Sometimes that might affect the position of the necklace. What you might have to do is like maybe dip it in some hot water just to kind of remold it a little bit so it might sit a little bit more flush if you're having issues with it coming up. And then the big one that everyone wants to see, this battle axe. Look at all that detail. Look at that. A lot of the nooks and crannies, the paintwork on this thing looks really, really spectacular. Definitely can't wait to get some photos with this. All right, now it's time for the size comparisons. Give you what everybody wants to see, the Mezco Conan the Conqueror, Mezco Conan the Barbarian. And again, definitely a little bit of variance in height with everything compared to Mezco. So definitely has a little bit more of that height advantage. But still, I feel like that will work. Got the Mythic Legions Xylernian Guard. And then I've got the V-Toys Studio Azura, the LA Comic-Con exclusive. Again, those look relatively similar in height. We've got Spiro Toys Tiberius, Wave 1. And then we've got the Executive Replicas Red Sonia. If she could stand up on those feet. There we go, perfect. Again, variance in height, very good. Definitely blends in well. And then now we've got the big boys here, bringing in Memory Toys. What does that say? Bounty Hunter Bloody Hands Morlock. And then this one here is Zesray Studios Combatants Fight for Glory Ketua, the Bighorn. I probably butchered that name, I apologize. But again, definitely goes in with a lot of different lines. I feel like it scales very, very well. All right, guys. Final thoughts on the Darkwolf from Frazetta Girls. I feel like this is a great offering. This is their first figure from their toy line. Definitely a very solid figure. You know, when we're talking about articulation, really, really good articulation all around. The only limiting areas where I would see is maybe from the headpiece itself. Again, it is a softer plastic. You're not going to get a lot of tilt. With the loincloth, it is a softer plastic, so yeah, you're going to be able to get some movement. But again, if we're talking about good flexibility, maybe down the road offering a soft goods option, or in future releases using soft goods for at least the loincloth area to help with posability. Going forward, man, I feel like the sky is the limit with this. Again, is this a top-notch figure? It's close. You know, again, there's a few areas for opportunity to improve. You know, I know with my offering, at least, there was a few issues with the paint on the teeth, on the different face plates, on the gritting teeth, and on the shouting. And there was also some issues where there was some paint flecks here and here. Not the end of the world stuff. Again, when I'm thinking about price point on a figure, you know, again, this was $70 if you order directly from Frazetta Girls plus shipping, or $95 if you order from Big Bad Toy Stores plus shipping. So, you know, when you're getting into those price points and everything, you would hope going forward that the paint apps would be a little bit more dialed in, a little bit more crisp. But again, I still feel like this is a very, very solid first start. You know, again, the sky is the limit with this toy line, so I'm very eager to see what they do going forward. So like I said in the intro, this was my very first review, so I do thank you so very much for sticking around. Going forward, I definitely want to crank out more reviews. I definitely really enjoying this medium with everything. So if this is your first time seeing my video, please make sure you like, comment, share, and then definitely make sure you hit subscribe. And I will catch you next time. Thanks. Bye.